Kanye West and Donald Trump have something in common. They have both been benched from social media, Kanye at least, Instagram, and it's because of all the things that he has been saying about Kim Kardashian, Pete Davidson, D.L. Hughley, Trevor Noah, and on and on and on.
Yeah, for the people who thought that Kanye deserved some consequences for this, well, he has gotten them yanked off of Instagram, and it is directly because of the posts he was putting up that were threatening. In particular, Instagram said that, or Meta actually, which owns Instagram, said that that violates their terms of use.
So let's get into the specifics here. So what is it, pray tell, that triggered Instagram to do this? What threat did Kanye make that seemed that real?
Threatening and bullying, we should say also. And I think, I don't know, the Trevor Noah one struck me as the D.L. Hughley stuff seemed
Trevor Noah
innocent.
is the only one I could understand because he used a racial epithet.
That one seems like bullying and harassment.
But beyond.
But the D.L. Hughley seems fine. I don't know. You could go back to some of the Pete Davidson stuff, though. Definitely.
But hold on. What I want to say something about this, because what he's done with Pete Davidson and Kim Kardashian, I think, is really wrong and even hurtful.
Right.
But it's also a family issue.
Yeah.
And and it feels to me like Instagram, if it's just about that, what a slippery slope this is. So every time that a couple gets divorced and they start warring on social media, which happens, why is Instagram? I mean, it feels like this.
Well, I don't think that Instagram's taking sides in Kim and Kanye.
He hasn't threatened anybody. He hasn't threatened anybody.
But look, Instagram, you don't have a right to have an Instagram page,
That's
right?
true.
So let's be clear on this. The Trevor Noah thing was racist. He also asked for the address of Pete Davidson's writing partner, which, of course, can be seen as harassment or bullying, or what's your real intention there? It's threatening as well, because why would he need the address to Pete's writing partner?
Right, but that's what a lawyer would argue in court. There could be a million reasons why somebody wants an address. So what happens the next time Joe Schmo asks for his ex-wife's address? My point is, yes, you're right. It's just Instagram. It's legal to do. What I'm saying is, what's happening is all these companies are getting so nervous that they're I mean, to me, I agree with you on Trevor Noah. I think you could do it on Trevor Noah. But if this is being done, if it's being done for harassment, which it feels more like it is, I think that is a slippery slope that's kind of ridiculous.
But they removed Trevor Noah's post, and they also removed the address post, right? So they did it on Trevor Noah.
They clearly have it.
Right, but it's one thing to remove that, and it's another thing to suspend him. And especially asking for an address. There could be a million reasons why you ask for somebody's address.
But hold on. Asking for the address in the context of all the other things, which I agree with you, don't necessarily rise to the level of
harassment.
But if you take all of those things in the context of him then asking for the address of Pete's, asking for the address of Pete's writing partner.
Right. But Pete said, "I want to meet with you." Pete started, and again, I'm Team Pete on this.
Right.
But when he says, look, Pete said he wants to meet me, and he calls up and says that, I mean, there could be a million reasons for that. It doesn't necessarily mean that he's going to then attack Pete, threaten Pete, or anything else.
It was the writing partner who put up the text messages that made Kanye look so bad.
I get it. And he made him look bad, and you're right, maybe it's something more nefarious, but maybe it's not. And when you start benching people because you start interpreting what it could mean. All I'm saying is, look, they have a right to do it. It just seems ridiculous to me, honestly.
Well, you seem to think that there is no actual threat here with Kanye, and you have some company in that. Kanye's ex-girlfriend. We got Julia Fox out in West Hollywood after a workout and asked her about the things that Kanye had been posting and whether or not he does pose a real threat to Pete, to Kim, to D.L. Hughley, or anybody else. Here's what she said.
You obviously got very, very close to Kanye when you dated him. Do you think Kim and Pete should be worried about their safety?
No.
No?
No. Kanye's harmless.
He's making, threatening violence on his...
I just think that's his artistic, creative expression. I know it's aggressive, but I really don't. I think that if it really came down to it, I don't think Kanye would hurt a fly.
You don't? People are a little bit worried for his safety. Do you think he's a harm to himself?
At this point in time, I'm not really sure.
Yeah.
But I'll give him a call and I'll find out.
Okay. Well,
Yeah,
what about what she says?
Listen, I said this yesterday, and I've been saying I don't think that Kanye actually wants to, inflict harm on Pete Davidson. I think it's a lot of talk. He's upset, and I agree with her that he's just sort of working out his emotions. I don't see it as that he's going to actually threaten him. Now, that's easy for me to say. I don't know how Pete Davidson's receiving it.
But I get it. But the thing about that is, it's like you don't. If you don't know, then you suspend. That's kind of what they're saying.
I see your point. But look, if it were just the Kanye things, I get your point. But the Trevor Noah crossed the line.
And I think you're right. I mean, but didn't they say, hey, Brad, are you still there? Did they say harassment, or did they keep it more general?
It was policies on hate speech, harassment, and bullying.
And I think you have all three of those in the Trevor Noah post, right? I mean, to your point, Harvey.
Well, I don't think it's harassment.
But hold on. But
I think it's racist, but I don't think it's harassment.
It's not bullying. It's not bullying.
Trevor's the one that made the comment first.
He says all in together now. Come on, everybody, let's sing this song.
I get it.
With a photo of.
He shouldn't have done that, but he was. But remember,
but I'll just say this. You're saying that all this stuff about Kim and Pete is not a reason to take him off Instagram, right?
I mean, I feel.
Well, they hadn't. Instagram did not take him off when he was saying all those things. They only took him off after the Trevor Noah comment.
And I think the Trevor Noah comment makes sense.
Okay. Well, then you agree
it's not
that.
Harassment.
But then you're agreeing
that's a racist thing. That's not a harassment thing.
Hey guys, I'm Misty from Decatur, Alabama, and I just want to say about Kanye, it was only 3 years ago that he put out a Christian album, and his behavior today on social media is in complete opposition to God's love, and words have power. So, I would like to know what your opinion is on that.
Words do have power, but the question is, when do you yank that? And I think that we should value free speech.
This isn't a permanent ban, by the way.
By the way, I get it, but we should, we're watching Ukrainians fight for speech, and you got to tolerate things you don't like, because that's what free speech is. Free speech is not, oh, I agree with them, therefore keep it up. Free speech is when you don't agree with people, and they even say something abhorrent.
We need to move on from this, but you've already agreed with me. You've agreed with me that what he said about Trevor Noah crossed the line and is worthy of being suspended.
Why aren't we getting along today? I'm just
because
curious.
You're not agreeing with common sense.
I'm not agreeing with you, is why.
Common sense.